Wednesday, February 5th.
I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. Thanks for waking up with us right here on 10 Tampa Bay. Let's get a check of that forecast to start you off this morning. Meteorologist Pappas keeping an eye on maybe a little patchy fog out there. We've been seeing it morning after morning.
Yeah, we're kind of getting used to it, but thankfully it's a lot less in terms of what we have across the area. Some areas though, like up towards the Nature Coast, that's where we're seeing the worst of it. So just a heads up there. So as you're headed out, just give yourself that extra time with this weather impact alert. We know the deal. As you're headed out and about, you'll see more of this. Take a look, the dense marine fog right there. That is something that we really just want to alert you to, but not alarm you. So just be careful out there, folks. Take a look at current visibilities. We do see that most of the area doing good. Wherever you see a 10, there's no fog. Meanwhile, Inverness, not so great. Half-mile visibility there. So just watch out for that over the next 12 hours. Here's what to expect. Any little bit of that patchy fog that's left in the Nature Coast lifts heading into about 9 o'clock. Thereafter, that's when we see a nice mix of sun and clouds, and that's going to warm us all the way back up to the 80s. But we'll talk about your weekend forecast. We got a lot of things in the pipeline, including the fair, among other things. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Amanda. Good morning to all of you as you join us here on 10 Tampa Bay, looking at traffic all across our area. Looking pretty good so far. I-275. We had some overnight road work here along the Howard Franklin Bridge. Wrapped up, should be wrapping up right now around 5 o'clock. So looks like drive times are looking good across the bridge. No delays to tell you about. Also keeping our eyes on areas where we saw some fog yesterday. I-4 near US 301 is not really showing any major slowdowns at this moment. And the places where we have fog, the only areas right now appear to be near the Nature Coast, Crystal River, Sugar Mill Woods, mainly Citrus County north. So overall, most of our Tampa Bay area roads are all up to speed and fog free, despite for this pocket right up here. Caitlin Jameson.
All right, thanks, Sarah. Developing overnight. Police are keeping an eye on the forecast this morning. We're getting used to the fog in our area.
It's so pleasant out there when you go out there this morning.
At least it's not chilly.
Exactly.
Guys,
No, we don't need a jacket.
Back to normal.
You know, I'm not a short order cook. I'm trying my best here. I warmed it up for you.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. But we also have to talk about something else really important this week. Severe Weather Awareness Week, brought to you by the Florida Department of Emergency Management, and in partnership with us here as meteorologists, they help us get all of the word out to you whenever there is severe weather approaching, especially during hurricane season, right? They do such a great job of the emergency management of Florida Department. So shout out to them, number one. Number two, our theme for Severe Weather Awareness Week today is going to be severe thunderstorms and also tornadoes. So just remember, a thunderstorm that produces 58-mile-per-hour winds or greater, or 1 inch of hail or larger, or if a thunderstorm can produce a tornado, that would then trigger a severe thunderstorm warning. This is considered a severe thunderstorm, and you only need one of these criteria right here listed to actually have that designation. So something to keep in mind. So remember this when thunder roars move indoors, especially throughout storm season. We want to prep you now while everything is calm and quiet. And speaking about calm and quiet, look how great the Ascent St. Petersburg sky camera is right now. 61 degrees, dew point at 59 there. And then we also see that the skies look pretty clear this way, at least. Good amount of cloud cover still, but I mean, we're at clear skies at least towards the surface, not too much fog in comparison to yesterday. Meanwhile, there's a dense marine fog advisory here up until 10 o'clock and dense fog advisories for Hernando, and also for Citrus County. Now, visibility wise, you can see we're actually doing great today. 10 out of 10, meaning no patchy fog in these areas where there's a 10 listed. Meanwhile, we're down to about 2 miles of visibility there for Zephyr Hills. So some patchy fog, hazy skies. That's what you're going to encounter if you're headed that way this morning. And then Inverness, about a half-mile visibility there. So the thickest or densest fog is going to be up towards Citrus and Hernando County. So please just be careful over towards Inverness and for Brooksville. So that is why we have a weather impact alert for you up until 9 o'clock. We'll see that dense fog can also drop our visibility, especially towards the Nature Coast, to 0. At times, it's not impossible. So you need to allow for extra space between cars, extra time to get out the door. And after this weather impact alert expires at 9, we see a nice mix of sun and clouds that'll get us to the 80s for today. So visibility, you can see right around 9:15, even a little bit before that, our visibilities improve incredibly. And then heading into tonight, no major areas of dense fog expected. So that's some good news. But we start to drop those visibilities to about a half mile throughout throughout the early morning hours around 4 to 5 a.m. So just keep that in mind for tomorrow. But guess what? Tomorrow features a lot more sunshine and we're going to be dry for quite some time. We don't see any rain. Look at this. Up until potentially next Monday, and that would only be a little sprinkle at best. And we got to talk about this. Florida State Fair starts tomorrow, and we want to make sure you go red, wear red for the American Heart Association, and 80s come throughout the weekend, Sarah.
All right, thank you, Amanda. And as you're waking up and getting a drive over our 275 Sunshine Skyway Bridge, I was going to say Howard Franklin, but the Sunshine Skyway Bridge is moving just fine right now. No big delays to tell you about, and thankfully no fog that we're dealing with as we have been for the last couple of days through this area. I-4 is moving nice in all directions. You may see some overnight road work as you're getting by County Line Road, but really no impacts to our drive at this moment. All of our drive times are looking great in the green right now. No big delays to tell you about here. Driving over our bridges, we don't have any slowdowns to tell you about around along the Courtney Campbell Causeway or Gandy Bridge. We looked at the Howard Franklin earlier, and 275 moving along just nicely. Less than 15 minutes to get from Beers down to I-4. We'll be keeping our eyes on this corridor as we get closer to that rush hour time frame.
Well, helping people in need this morning in Hernando County, happening in just hours. Farm Share is holding a massive free food distribution. It starts at 11 a.m. and lasts until
Amos in Euler, Caitlin Lockerbie, meteorologist Amanda Pappas, and traffic with Sarah Rosario.
All right, good morning on this Wednesday, halfway through the week. I'm Jamison Euler.
I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. Hump day. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Let's get a check of that forecast. At least the temperatures are mild out there. It's been nice in the afternoon. It's like beach weather.
It's been nice when you walk out this morning, too, in the sense of temperatures.
Oh, for sure. You don't need a major like parka or jacket, which is really nice to keep that inside. Finally feeling more like Florida. I love taking those pics and sending them to my family up north just to rub it in their face a little bit. But otherwise, we want to talk to you about severe weather awareness week really quick. Severe thunderstorms, right? Any of this criteria, if it matches throughout the summer months especially, that is something that you always want to just keep in mind. So that's today's theme. And just remember when thunderboursts move indoors. But for right now, the only hazard that I'm really seeing out there is going to be dense marine fog. So that sea fog is an issue along with those visibilities that are dropping over towards Inverness. But Zephyr Hills, we see a good amount of improvements there, about 7 miles for that visibility at this point. And we see over the next 12 hours this weather impact alert will expire at 9 o'clock, and thereafter conditions get really nice. I'll show you how warm we get for your highs today, and also a lot of different things going on as we head into the weekend. We'll talk about it in just the next couple of minutes. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning to you, Amanda. We were looking at fog impacting our drive times at some point throughout this week, but right now that's not the case at all. No impact to our drive times because of fog. We're looking good right now. If you're going to be driving along portions of I-4 to I-275 and the northern apex, we're looking great right now. Everything's up to speed that I can tell you about. As far as where is the fog, we're seeing it along portions of Pasco County Road, Dade City, US 301. You may be seeing fog there, limited visibility, and the Nature Coast, Crystal River, Sugar Mill Woods, northern areas there of our viewing area. As far as our current crashes, we are starting to see a couple popping up. We're going to get a closer look at them, but really not having any major impacts to our drive times right now.
All right, thanks, Sarah. This morning, prepare to
lightning forward Connor Geeky.
And we're keeping our eyes on the roads. Couple of crashes popping up across the Bay Area. We're going to get a closer look at those in just a couple minutes, and also where the fog is this morning. Amanda?
Meteorologist Amanda Pappas here, helping you just plan for this. We're talking about what we have this week, which is Severe Weather Awareness Week. So you get those surface winds, right? And then you get upper level winds that are really strong. And guess what? Rotating columns of air pop up, and we have those thunderstorm updrafts. They turn that rotating column of air vertically. And guess what? Then you get a tornado that actually forms. And that's the theme for today, is tornadoes and also severe thunderstorms. So we're talking about this. The wall cloud is going to continue to pop on up, and then you have your tornado coming out and potentially causing a lot of destruction. So we're going to talk about your safe space, where to go, especially when you get that tornado warning, all coming up.
Empower. Well, whether you like cars or you don't, this one's pretty cool behind us this morning. Carlisle Auctions is going on at Sun and Fun in Lakeland, starting this weekend.
Yes.
Going to be a whole lot of fun out there, and we're joined early this morning with gentlemen here. Mike Garland, thanks for waking up early with us.
Oh, thanks for having us. Absolutely.
And this is Tom Glasgow.
Tom
This is
Glasgow.
Who owns the car
The
behind
fancy
us.
car behind us, right? Exactly. And so this weekend out at Sun and Fun Expo, there's going to be a car consignment. nearly 400 cars are going to be up for consignment, cars just like Tom's here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom's Car is a great representation of the types of vehicles that we'll have at the auction at the Sun and Fun Expo campus Friday and Saturday. The auction starts each day at 10:30, and not only will you get the cool like resto mod and classic cars, there'll be muscle cars, pre-war classics, trucks, Jeeps, SUVs. It runs the gamut. So if you're looking for your first or next collector car, the auction this weekend in Lakeland is the place to be.
So much fun to check it out. Tom, tell us about the car behind us.
Yeah, I'm
here.
going to get out of the way and switch
I know, I
it
feel
because
like
this
we're
thing's a
blocking
beauty.
the beauty
What do we
here.
have here, Tom?
This right here is a 31 Ford Roadster.
Okay.
And it's got a 53 Mercury engine in it and 3 Strongbird carburetors on top. And they say, why do you got the hood off of there? They call it the jewelry box. So we like to show it off, a lot of chrome and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. And this is the way it was done back in the day, you know, and little modifications for hot rodding, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Michael, we were talking about this earlier. This is kind of like if you watch Barrett Jackson on TV, this is kind of like a Barrett Jackson type weekend out there in Lakeland.
Yeah, it's, you know, obviously a little smaller than Barrett Jackson or
Right,
Mecum, but
yeah.
it is kind of like those as seen on TV collector car auctions. There's a charity angle on Saturday. We're auctioning off 4 cars that will benefit a group called Wheels from the Heart. So the proceeds will benefit single mothers in need of reliable transportation.
Right.
We have an all Jeep hour on Saturday, an all truck hour on Friday. There's a Lakeland Jeep Club is doing a cruise in, and it's just going to be a fun car weekend in Lakeland.
Yeah, and not only if you're not out there to bid, you can just go check them out and have some fun taking them in person.
For sure, we have a spectator element, so you don't have to be a buyer or seller. You could just come out as a spectator.
Yeah.
Spectator admission tickets are $10 at the door, a little bit cheaper if you buy them online at CarlisleAuctions.com. Free parking, easy access off of County Line Road at the Sun and Fun Expo campus. And you might not know it for car shows, but it's where they do the big fly-in every year. In fact, I think they have it coming up here in April.
Right? That's awesome. Tom, are you going to pick up another ride, you think, out there?
Well, no, I'm going to have mine in Lutz, Florida. My friend's going to have a car show there.
Okay.
Free admission to go in. It's from 8 to 2 in the afternoon. And it's going to be a tribute to the World War II.
Excellent. And just wondering how long it took you to make restore something like this. How long?
You know, this one, I don't know. Mine took about 6 months. I got a 34 Ford 5-window coupe. This one I bought.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the smart way to do it.
Jameson and I could pop in, take it for a
Right,
ride.
there you go. And you know what? You can actually yourself buy a car like this, just like this
That's
weekend.
right.
No restoration
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great time out there.
We didn't tell him that we get the keys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much. And like Tom said, he and his friends have a big show coming up on the 15th in Lutz. And you know, if you're looking for the car show fun, whether it's with us this weekend in Lakeland or you're headed to Lutz to check out their show next week, we thank you and thank them for being here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for getting up early with us, gentlemen. We appreciate it. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is a beauty.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
It is. And you know
Proud,
what?
proud Papa over here.
And if you're heading out to Lakeland this weekend, we're going to have some fantastic weather.
Beautiful.
The weekend is
Yeah.
shaping up
Yeah,
nicely
it's
as
nice.
well. Let's send it back inside. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas with the latest on the weekend forecast and what we're dealing with this morning there, Amanda.
Good morning. Thanks so much. What a sick ride that we got out there. Everything looking good for the car show this weekend. A little bit of patchy fog right now, but we also want to talk to you about this Severe Weather Awareness Week from the Florida Department of Emergency Management. They do a great job. They help keep you and I safe throughout hurricane season, along with our messaging and theirs. We really think that you are good to go in the clear for hurricane season as long as you're heeding all these warnings, but we always want to make sure you're prepped and ready to go at a season as well. And we know one thing's for sure, that we do have spring weather season as well. And so we do see severe weather. That means that we could have tornadoes. And I know you're thinking, Florida, tornadoes? That doesn't really sound right? It doesn't seem like a place where you're thinking we get a bunch of them, but we actually do have a good amount of activity. I've even covered tornadoes here for years, going all the way back to 2020, even 2022. We're seeing that right here, right now, February into March, the average number of tornadoes that affect the state of Florida and impact us here is right around 10. So that's definitely a sizable number. And if that's not enough to prove to you that we do see tornadoes in this state, well, look at this. We had Milton, right? And Hurricane Milton actually produced the second most amount of daily tornado warnings by any state back on October 9th, 2024. That total number was 126 tornadoes warnings for this state. So that just proves the point. Tornadoes are definitely possible here, and that's our theme, along with severe thunderstorms for today's Severe Weather Awareness Week day of that theme. But what else we're talking about? Well, we're calm right now. No tornado warnings. Thankfully, we're not in hurricane season either. We're just seeing mild and muggier conditions, but a little more summer or springtime-like of a pattern. 64 for our air temperature, dew point almost matching. That's what's given this camera a little bit of a haze. And we're looking at Amalie Arena. Congrats to the Bolts. Congrats to Hagel. He killed it, and we beat them out, those Senators. But they're playing yet again this week, so we'll see what happens. Aside from that, visibility looking good all across the area, except for Zephyr Hills and Inverness. Those are going to be our two problem areas, but things not as bad as they previously were earlier in the week. And this fog will be completely out of here by 9 o'clock. Take a look at that. Heading into tonight, not seeing any dense or crazy fog that you need to worry about. All you might have is some brain fog, but hey, it's hump day. And then heading into your Friday Junior or Friday Eve, we may have a little bit of patchy fog to contend with on the roadways early tomorrow morning. But hey, guys, I'm helping you out today. At least it's 81 degrees, sun and clouds. You could lay out by the pool, maybe go to the beach, or just take a nice walk outside. It's finally feeling like Florida tonight. A little bit of patchy fog comes back, 62, 80 degrees for tomorrow with a little bit of fog starting us off. And both the European and American model, I always look at those two, right, to determine any rain chances among other things. We're looking dry all the way throughout up until next week. Next Monday, potentially a couple sprinkles, and the next sizable rain chances not until next Thursday, and that's on both of our models. 7-day forecast showing us the State Fair starts tomorrow. Great conditions for it, and for Go Red, and for that car show as well, Sarah, this weekend.
All right, lots of things going on over the weekend. We've got a couple of crashes and incidents popping up here. Want to make you aware of. Fire department activity reported near Bend Drive and Brady Road for drivers just north of Tarpon Springs if you're going to be driving through that area. East Lake Road, a crash reported at Forelock Road, so heads up for my drivers through that portion of Pinellas County. If you're going to be driving along Gun Highway, we've got this crash near Sheldon Road under investigation. 275 looking good. Veterans Expressway looking good. Another crash we continue to follow here is along I-75. If you're going to be driving along I-75 southbound, there's this crash here at Fletcher Avenue. And also looking at a wider view of our crashes, we're starting to see some delays building, and we'll be back after the break.
Bought a new car? Ready to try out the innovative technology? You may be surprised the automatic emergency braking might not work as good as you think.
We know this technology does well during the day, but it's not as great at night.
The technology upgrades needed. 10 investigates tonight at 11.
I love that my daughter still needs me, but
Thanks for starting your Wednesday with us. Definitely not too chilly out there. Don't need a jacket. We were just stepped outside briefly to check out a cool car.
Yeah. And
no jacket needed.
Yeah, no jacket needed today. It's one of those days you're definitely going to enjoy when you walk out, but we still do have some fog again in the area this morning. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas with that.
Yeah, so it's really warm and humid. No jacket needed, but I have the cape here just in case.
Just in case.
Get a little chill.
The Avengers, the Fantastic Four trailer came out yesterday. You're kind of channeling your superhero today with the cape.
Yes, my superpowers are keeping you informed, prepared, connected, and safe, especially with the weather. And for today, the one thing that I want to make sure you guys are alerted to with this weather impact alert is going to be the areas of patchy fog that we have. I'm talking over towards portions of Citrus County for Inverness specifically, and also seeing it over towards Sebring as well if you look at our visibility map. But otherwise, everywhere you see a 10, there is no fog there, so that's some good news. A little bit of haze to the skies though, of course, so that could impact you on your commute. We're talking about now up until 9 o'clock. So when we are commuting, make sure to please slow down, use the low beams, allow the extra space, but I'll let Sarah take it away. We will see that fog will lift later, and we have sunshine coming back.
All right, thank you, Amanda. As we get a look at the drive right now, we are seeing some flashing lights here along I-275 near 28th Street. So if you're going to be headed through right now, looks like cars are just limited to that one lane as cones are out as well. So heads up for my drivers through there. Also, we're looking at some busier drive times here along I-4. Things are starting to pick up a little bit near Paul Buckman Highway. I am seeing some slowdowns as well, especially as you're going to be getting through Plant City. So heads up for my drivers to the area. On top of that, we're also looking at the fog. This is portions of the Nature Coast for you. So if you're going to be driving through Crystal River, Hernando, northern Brooksville, you're going to be seeing some foggy roads there. A couple crashes are popping up. We'll get a closer look at those in just a couple of minutes.
All right, keeping you informed. Welcome back on this Wednesday morning. Thanks for waking up with us right here on 10 Tampa Bay. Time now 6:16, and we're waiting for the sun to come up. Once it does, burn off some of this fog, right?
By the way, it's February 5th, which cue the confetti and balloons. It's National Weather Person Day.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, hello.
Yes.
Aw, you guys are the best.
No? Okay, no confetti, no balloons.
It's like when I try to make it rain and then it doesn't.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Happy Weather Person Day.
Yeah.
Prangley's in the building somewhere too.
Yes, my Prangley's in the building.
Shout out to both of you guys.
Yeah, and everybody, and all your hard work during hurricane season, and obviously hurricane season coming up as well.
No.
That's down the road.
Wait
down the road.
We just don't talk about that at all.
But we're going to talk about some nice weather we're going to have today at some point.
Yeah, so we'll see the fog lifts, and shout out to my team, realistically, and you guys too. You always help during severe weather events to keep you informed, prepared, connected.
Thank you, but it's not our day. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're going off. So let's get you over to the weather wall. Speaking of which, we got a little bit of weather to contend with out there, and we're talking about patchy fog for you. So that's why I pulled that weather impact alert. Now, it's not going to be any fog that I would be so concerned about, except for in areas like Inverness. However, Zephyr Hills still seeing some of that patchy fog along with Highlands County. Aside from that, you see a lot of 10s on this map, and that's because those are the areas with no fog at this point. But shout out to the anchors. Thank you guys so much for this National Weather Person's Day. We have this weather impact alert, of course, up until 9 o'clock. Make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time to head out, and also increasing the following distances. You don't want to ram up into someone when you have that fog in the roadways. And on top of that, just make sure you are ready to go for the rest of the day, because guess what? After the fog lifts, these temperatures are going to go up and up. We're in the 60s and 50s right now, but we make it all the way back up to the 80s by this afternoon, seeing a ton of sunshine. So that's going to be really nice. And even more sunshine comes throughout the later portion of this week. So visibility, we do see that there's going to be major improvements, and we're going to be picture perfect in terms of the visibility heading into 9 o'clock. Tonight, not anticipating any sort of major fog that'll sock us in. However, heading into tomorrow morning, could we get a couple areas of patchy fog? Sure. South of I-4, that's where we could see those visibilities drop just a little bit, but it won't be long lasting. That'll lift again the following morning at 9 a.m. on your Thursday. And Thursday, look at this, shaping up nicely, folks, to 80 degrees we go yet again. So we are going to see a nice dry day today and tomorrow. More sunshine even coming at you for tomorrow, so that's exciting. But the European model is showing us that we're going to see some dry conditions, and along with the American model, they both keep us dry at least until next Monday. We'll see a sprinkle possible. There it is. Tuesday looking a little drier, potentially a shower, but Wednesday into Thursday. This is Thursday at about 6, 7, 8 a.m. That is when we can see our next best chance at some sizable rain chances, and even then we're going to struggle. But speaking about rain, we're going to talk about one other theme for today. We have our Severe Weather Awareness Week, brought to you by the Florida Department of Emergency Management. And of course, emergency management helps us during hurricane season to get the word out to you and help you get informed, prepared, and connected as well, and prep. And right now, prep is the big thing. So we want to talk about a severe thunderstorm. If you have any of these criteria right here, a tornado possible with any of them, an inch of hail or larger, 58-mile-per-hour winds or stronger, that would designate a storm as a severe thunderstorm. And so when you hear thunder roar, please move indoors. Lightning does kill. It is a major killer here in the state, and we want to make sure you're always safe. So that's our theme for today, along with tornadoes. We'll talk about how they form in the next half hour. But your 7-day forecast showing us that we have our weather impact alert. It expires. The Florida State Fair starts tomorrow. We're going to be wearing red Friday. Go red. Not for the Chiefs. I want the Philly team to win. I'm rooting for you, Jameson. But Friday we have that, and then 80s into next week. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, starting to see traffic picking up across our area right now. We're looking at the roads along Veterans Expressway near Independence Parkway Memorial. Things looking good, although they are getting busy. Reminder to check with your flights. Not seeing any major delays outside of the airport this morning. Here's where we are seeing delays. The ramp to downtown from I-4 westbound, there's an incident there, and it's kind of slowing drivers down a little earlier than normal right now. So 6:20 is the time, and we're seeing a lot of brake lights on the screen, and we're also tracking some fog. It's now moved up through our viewing area. If you're going to be driving through portions of Crystal River, northern Brooksville, Hernando through Citrus County, you will see fog. along the roadway, still dealing with the limited visibility overnight that we had been seeing all week long. Also tracking a couple of other crashes in addition to the slowdowns along portions of I-4 through Zephyr Hills. One reported near US 301 impacting southbound traffic, appears to be clearing. And then Cortez Boulevard. Hello, Burkesville. Cortez, if you're going to be driving through that area, eastbound traffic is impacted because of a crash near Ridge Manor Boulevard.
Well, getting you prepared for your morning commute this morning.
With Jamison Euler, Caitlin Lockerbie, meteorologist Amanda Pappas, and traffic with Sarah Rosario.
Good Wednesday morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us here on 10 Tampa Bay. I'm Caitlin Lockerbie.
And good morning. I'm Jamison Euler. As you're walking out this morning, kind of pleasant out there with temperatures, but we do have a weather impact alert. Some areas still seeing some fog today, so we got to talk about that. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas here with more on that.
Good morning to you guys. So we're talking about the fog, especially over towards portions of the Nature Coast. We're talking about Crystal River, Inverness, about a quarter-mile visibility there as we look outside, and also seeing about a half-mile visibility for Sebring. So please be careful along with Zephyr Hills. This weather impact alert is going to last from now up until 9 o'clock, and then we see it lifts. However, for now, just make sure you're careful on that commute into work, especially with this fog in place by the afternoon. The afternoon commute looks a lot better with tons of sunshine. You're going to need to crank that AC with temps getting up to the 80s. But for right now, you want to increase that following speed. And talking more about that is our very own Sarah Rosario. Good morning.
All right, good morning to you. If you're going to be driving and you have that limited visibility, as Amanda's telling us, be mindful of the fog. Slow down. You want to make sure that you can see where you're going, so heads up about that. As far as our crashes go, we have some slowdowns and some crashes popping up right now. Slowdowns are in those typical places along I-4 westbound and I-275 southbound mainly. Here we have some slowdowns along 301 as you're going to be headed southbound south of Zephyr Hills for drivers through Pasco County. And we also have a crash here near 54 and Morris Bridge Road that is popping up on the map here for our drivers through that area of Pasco. Hernando County, good morning. Brooksville, US 98, Cortez Boulevard, a crash near Ridge Manor Boulevard near that Ridge Manor development. So heads up for my drivers through there if you're going to be driving along near that Waffle House and I-75. I-275 seeing slowdowns. Veterans Expressway moving along just nicely. Del Mabry seeing some stop and go traffic, especially as you're getting by Gun Highway this morning. And we still have a fire department activity reported here for drivers in Pinellas Brady Road near Bend Drive. Guys?
Well, this morning, prepare to
on crashes across the Bay Area. New information coming in from Tampa Police involving a crash at 56 and MLK. We're going to get you updates on that and how it could impact your morning drive in just a couple minutes.
Good morning to you guys. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas here. We're talking about really just some important things. Today is Severe Weather Awareness Week, and the theme is tornadoes and also severe thunderstorms. So we're talking about how they form. So you get strong upper level winds with those surface winds, right? And those two create a rotating column of air. And then, of course, we always have air that's being ingested by the thunderstorm. That's called an updraft, and that helps to rotate that column of air vertically. And guess what? Once that rotating column of air goes vertical, you get a wall cloud and it drops to the ground. That is how your tornado forms. Take a look. But we'll have more about tornadoes and how they impact us here in the state of Florida. I know it sounds crazy, but that's all coming up after a break.
The smartest credit card for homeowners.
About that, as this crash is under investigation, looking at I-75, looking at 301. No big delays to tell you about through this area. Also looking at some slowdowns here along 275. We've got some stop and go traffic. And that is what it looks like there. Also looking at Ridge Manor, we've got this crash going on. And that is all I have to tell you about right now in the traffic world. Let's get a look at our forecast with meteorologist Amanda Pappas.
Good morning to you guys. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas here, and we do see that we have a weather impact alert, and it's because of this, some patchy fog over towards portions of Zephyr Hills and Inverness. So just watch out for that. And then we see 10s anywhere that there's not any sort of patchy fog. So there's no fog, at least over towards Plant City and Tampa for right now, and neither for St. Pete. So it just depends on where you're at. With this weather impact alert, it's going to go up until 9 o'clock for that dangerous dense fog, near zero visibility. So make sure you're slowing down, taking it nice and easy, using those low beams, and in addition to that, making sure that you increase that following distance, But otherwise, we're at 50 degrees right now, so pretty chilly still north of I-4. 63 though, so a whole warmer. I mean, Tampa, we're feeling mild. Warmer than that water temperature as well still. 64 for St. Pete right now. So we're talking hour by hour, and here we go. We're going to see our temperatures will continue to climb then. As we get closer to the afternoon, you see a lot more sunshine will come back out. Mix of sun and clouds for today gets us the 80s yet again, so that's some good news. Visibility will continue to improve as well. That visibility improves right around 9:30, and we won't see any major fog for tonight. However, as we play this out past 11 o'clock, really right around 4 a.m., that is when we'll be tracking out some more areas of fog for you down to half-mile visibility. So that is another thing, guys, just to watch out for tomorrow morning for your Friday Eve. Tomorrow, we do see after that fog lifts that we have our air temperatures climbing back to the 80s. Lots of sunshine yet again. So we are going to see that today's clouds turn into mostly sunny skies for tomorrow afternoon, and no rain for the short term. I mean, realistically, you don't see any rain. You gotta look for it heading into next week, and that's a quick moving shower at best Monday, then heading into next Wednesday, early Thursday. That could be our next best chance at rain. Not seeing a ton of it though. And speaking about the rain, we talk about thunderstorms as well. This is some of the criteria that we need to produce really to have a severe thunderstorm or severe thunderstorm warning. And we talk to you guys about those all the time. So always remember when thunder roars, move indoors. And I was telling you just a couple moments ago as well about how a tornado forms. So it's really that vorticity, that spin in the atmosphere because of the winds up above and the winds at the surface. They basically spin together, right? And they help to produce all these tornadoes. And what you may not realize is that most tropical systems, a lot of them, including one we had right here in Tampa, actually do produce tornadoes. So speaking of that, look at this. Whether you believe it or not, I know Florida doesn't seem like that place where we would get a lot of tornadoes. You think Oklahoma, Texas, but look at this. Most daily tornado warnings by state, we saw the second most ever, all time. 126 tornado warnings in one singular day in our state. That was back on October 9th. That was from Hurricane Milton. We know that storm had a lasting impact on our community, but take a look at your 7-day forecast. We do not see hurricanes for quite some time. Thank goodness. We're going to continue to inform, prepare, connect you, and keep you safe all throughout Severe Weather Awareness Week as well. So just keep that in mind. But 80s, and we got the Florida State Fair, Go Red Friday, and a car show all this weekend.
And speaking of which, getting you connected, tomorrow the Florida State Fair kicks off. Yet again, another exciting year coming up.
Yeah, who's hungry?
Everybody, anytime you go out to the state fair, right?
Food is always a fan favorite out there. You better go hungry. This year it includes some new additions like barbecue stuffed waffles.
Okay.
Think chicken and waffles, but like
barbecue.
I'm down.
Okay.
That sounds really good.
Always try something at the state fair.
S'mores chocolate bacon.
Oh yeah.
And for you fathers out there, a dad bod brisket sandwich.
Love a brisket sandwich.
So if you eat a few of those, you get a dad bod.
I've had a few of those over the years.
All right, the very best of Florida's